Hi, I'm Tracy Yonker, and I am doing this video for my seminar presentation for my capstone class. And I'm supposed to be discussing what I feel is going to make me successful in the profession for English language arts. And I am going to be an English language arts secondary educator. And so I think one of the most important things is writing and being able to teach your students how to write effectively. So I'm going to talk a little bit about things that I've learned through Peru State College that I feel that will make me an effective teacher. First of all, I want to talk about some of the strategies that I think is important, because no matter what you're teaching, it's important to use strategies that are effective. And in one of my education courses that I'm taking right now, there's this book that we're reading, and it's Strategies I've Learned is what it's called, but the author is Robert J. Garmston, and the teacher that I'm taking this class with is Dr. Lusk at Peru State College. But some of the strategies that I think are important are definitely opening strategies. We've learned like facts and fibs, and that's me. Those are two really fun ways to get the students engaged. And then there's a lot of different literacy strategies within the book as well. Act the word and semantic mapping are two that I really liked, and I think I taught a little mini lesson with Act the word, and that was a lot of fun. Some more strategies. There's a lot of strategies for narrative text, which utilizes KOL charts, character mapping, think aloud, just lots of different graphic organizers to help the students have a good outline and for when they're getting ready to write a draft. And then some closing strategies are like the 3-2-1 send off and the personal action plan. So like what they've actually gotten out of it. Another important thing that I've learned within my education courses is how to write an effective lesson plan. And I utilize the Madeline Hunter. It just really is a good way to be organized, and even though I know I might not be always using a lesson plan, but just to know how to and how to get organized pretty quickly, it's good to do. And also within the lesson plans, I've learned how to link my objectives and my goals and the lessons themselves to the Nebraska state standards, which is something that I think every teacher is supposed to know how to do and should practice. Okay, and then I wanted to talk about an English course that I took with Dr. Holtz, and the book that we used for this English course was A Writer Teaches Writing, right here. It was my first course with him. Awesome book. I learned a lot in that class, and like I said, it's titled A Writer Teaches Writing. So it's helped us as students learn how to teach our students how to write effectively, and utilizing a lot of those strategies that I just mentioned. Okay, so in order to teach a student to learn how to write, you have to teach them to learn how to allow learning to take place in the first place. Sorry, I was trying to figure how I wanted to spit that out. But then also the next thing would be cultivating surprise through the writing process, how to do that. Drafting, revising, and editing, which is huge. Making sure that they have enough specific information, making sure that it's accurate information in order to build a draft. Focusing on a single meaning that is significant to the reader, and making sure that the material is put in order that the writer actually visualizes before they begin writing. So using like a KOL chart or a graphic organizer is a great way to get started with that, or even a character map. And then the next thing would be, do the readers need the information that you're writing about? Is it important to them? Because if it's not important to a reader, then nobody's going to read it because it won't be worth reading. Is there a voice that is strong and directly speaks to the reader? So if the writer can answer all those questions before they begin writing, then they know that they have something to write about and that it's going to be worthy. So in all, it depends on what type of writing you're doing, whether it's narrative, persuasive, descriptive, or analysis on an essay or so on. The next thing I wanted to talk about was creative writing and the process. And I learned that with Dr. Clemente, and the book that we used is called The Creative Writing Guide by Candace Schaefer and Rick Diamond. And in this book, we learned so much in this class. I took it online. It was only 8 weeks. I wish I could have taken it in 16 weeks because there's just so much to it. But I'm going to keep the book for sure. Okay, we learned how to use clear practical instruction for the craft of the writing, for writing poetry, fiction, literary, nonfiction, drama, and starting off with free writing, how to get started with that, short stories. We learned a lot about poetry and how to practice it using rhyme and meter and scheme. And then we really worked a lot on the 5 senses to make your prose come alive. Like we used a lot of personification, similes, metaphors, so that at the end, when the reader actually is reading it, the reader's going to feel like they understand it and like they're right there experiencing it with you, which is really important. I had a hard time working with the senses at first. I just used visual. I had a hard time in the beginning, really describing like smell and taste and what things feel like. But after working with that and having a lot of practice and a lot of revision, I did pretty well with it. And it was a lot of fun. And I think creative writing is going to be fun for students because it's just a great way for them to express themselves, even if it's hard to express yourself in other ways. It's easy to do in your writing. At least it is for me, and I'm excited to teach students different ways how they can be excited about it too and just have a lot of fun with it. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was technology. I took technology, an education technology course actually with Dr. Wusk, and she's an amazing teacher. But we did a lot in that class, and which is great for me because I didn't grow up with technology the way a lot of more traditional students had done so. Like my kids, I have older kids, and they taught me the technology that I didn't even know. But after going through her class, I just learned how to really utilize the digital tools and resources, how to model and promote innovative thinking. And I just feel like I'm really fortunate because of all the learning opportunities that I've had at Peru State College. I've had so many, and that's helped me to advance personally. I'm confident now in my abilities to continue learning and growing through collaborating with other teachers and also utilizing technology through my PLN that I did with Dr. Rusk, or not Dr. Ruskamp, but Dr. Wusk, Twitter, podcasts, RSS feeds. And if you don't know what a PLN is, it's just basically what we did for our PLN is she had us create a Twitter account. I never was interested in Twitter before, but I didn't realize how much you really can learn through Twitter. And she had us follow, like, I think it was 8 or 10 education professionals that are in our area or in our content area. And then we just would get on like for 5 minutes every day and just kind of read through things and read through tweets that the professionals have posted, and then we would share something that we learned. And I learned an amazing amount of things, and that was just one thing that Dr. Wusk really encouraged us to continue, was every day, even if you just spend a minute or two, but working on your PLN, and you can do that through Twitter or an RSS feed. There's lots of different ways, so that's one of my goals, to continue doing that daily, because it's just going to improve me as a teacher overall and just help me to keep learning and growing. And I don't know, it's just been exciting. I'm ecstatic to be almost done and ready to start student teaching. Thank you. I wanted to thank Dr. Holst for the class, for doing this directed study with me, and hopefully I did a good job. Thanks.